Guru Nation, welcome back to another episode of Random Musings from the Clinical Trials Guru. This is Dan Sfera. I've got Gabriella Crass. She's a CRA, but more importantly than that, she's a mother. Okay, and happy Mother's Day, Gabriella, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. But I know the ones watching this channel, the coordinators, the CRAs, the PIs, everyone else. If you're juggling raising kids with doing clinical research, I salute you big time because that's not easy. Okay, I don't have kids, and it's tough to juggle clinical research without kids. I have dogs and there's no comparison. So, Gabriella, thank you so much for coming on. A happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Dan, for having me. And yes, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, because May is a month of Mother's Day, right? Different countries celebrating different day. However, I would probably say that May is Mother's Day month. And once again, thank you very much for having me. It's a great pleasure to talk to you remotely, but still, right?
Remotely, next time I'm in Toronto, you're all the way from Toronto area, right? So next time I go out
Yeah.
there, we gotta meet up and do one in person.
Okay.
But give us a background, like who you are, how
Mhm.
does one even become a CRA? And then I do want to talk about Canada because we do have a lot of viewers in Canada. And I never have good answers for them because I don't know. I'm in the States. I don't know the job market in Canada for CRA. So
Okay.
let's talk first about your career, how you got started in this.
Sure. Well, you might probably hear my kids running around because they are
Yes.
home, right?
Future
No
researchers,
school.
future researchers.
Exactly. So actually, idea was brought to me when I was at the university. My roommate, she is Natalia. I'm talking about her directly. She is 2 years older than me, and we were talking okay about what the future. What would you like to do? Because we both knew that I cannot be a teacher. My mom is a teacher. My mother-in-law was a teacher. Too many teachers out there. No, thank you. So she was actually doing the clinical research associate job already. She was working for CRA, and she told me, you know what? You're so detail-oriented person. I think this role is for you. So I was thinking, and then I did my homework for that. And 2010, I started as a position in the data management.
Okay.
Then, when the opportunity came from pharmaceutical company, 2011, I get the job as a CRA, but this was in Poland. So,
Okay.
2016, yes,
How did you get
and
data
I
manager, like to begin with? What was your background, to get that position?
so I graduated chemistry at the
Okay.
university, and there was this big opening for data management in Poland that time. So I did some research in that, how I can, what I can do having the chemistry background there. And because of the chemistry, you work a lot of with data, presenting the reports, writing and running the reports. It was good experience for the company, but also English knowledge was important
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So 2011, becoming a CRA in oncology right away. And I remember my mom, she was like, "Oh my God, are you sure you want to do oncology?" And my
Oncology. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and friend of mine that I've mentioned, she was also like, "You're sure you want to do oncology?" And I'm like,
It's
"Okay, let's."
tough. Oncology's tough.
Yeah, it is. So I went to this position, and 2016. We did have this opportunity to switch the continents, and probably this is another topic for how CRA is switching one continent to another. However,
I
we
get
came to
that
Canada.
question at least once a week from somebody, and I don't
Yes.
also don't have an answer for them.
Well, it is very important to know what you want to do and how you want to get to the point that you have in your head, right? And I fully agree with you that it is important to have experience. The previous experience helped, But even if you have experience in your previous country, sometimes it is requirement to have experience in the country that we are applying for a job, you know?
Right.
So I was that lucky that I got the position as a senior CRA in Canada from the company, from pharmaceutical, small pharmaceutical company. And since then, I am
Wow.
still in oncology, little break for diabetes, but yeah,
So in Poland, is this the same company that hired you in Canada that you were working at?
nope.
So you actively sought this company out.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
how difficult was that? You said 2000, when was this? 16?
Yes,
How
yes.
how difficult was that to do?
Well, it was difficult in that sense that Canada is bilingual country, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it was difficult because I don't speak French very fluently, I would say. So I'm not fully bilingual in that sense. I'm bilingual because I speak English in Poland, in Polish,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not bilingual in English and French, right? So the opportunity was from this company that they were looking for someone who is bilingual, and it was just the perfect timing. And I guess the
Wow.
need for the position was that my previous job, my previous boss, she decided to hire two people, one dedicated to French, directly French speaking sites, and the other one for other, like English speaking more likely, right? So it was really being in a proper place and I think I don't want to say talking to proper people, but I just want to say that it is important to um, build your network in the sense of you never know who will be your manager tomorrow, right? So sometimes sending as much resume as you can, follow upping with the company is important, but also I'm finding doing some stuff pro bono, you know,
So
because
explain because people need to hear this.
well, we already know that CRA role or everybody when they hear research, wow, dollars in eyes, bam, you're a super rich person, right? Well, yes, that's true. However, sometimes when you want to cash your check, you have to deposit the cash, right, in your bank account. This is something. So in my case I was reaching out to different people and helping them because I believe that people are meeting for a reason. So I was helping them with the research, I was helping them with finding the job, I was helping them sharing the experience, etc. And I was doing this pro bono because I felt this is my investment for now, you know?
Right.
And when they see your quality of work, your dedication, your timing, in the sense of when you said you will deliver, you deliver, then they are starting to seeing that there is the potential. And I think for a lot of newcomers to Canada, it is important to understand that if you do something for someone without money, it will get back to you because they will know you, they know how you work. And I'm not saying do this all the time because you need to know, you need to hit the point when this is stop, right? You
Right.
need to earn, you have to
It,
pay your
it's
bills,
a career at some point, right? So, but how
right?
did you even get that? Because I tell people, hey, try to intern. Even that is difficult for them. I mean, it's not like it's easy to just contact somebody and get an internship. I always tell people, hey, look at what you're good at and then offer that value because they're not going to be a mind reader and say, hey, Dan is good at marketing. So let have him intern here for free. He can do marketing for us and then we'll teach him how to be a CRA. I mean, I have to tell them this, right? So, like, how did you get this opportunity?
Well, okay, I have to admit I was watching you a little bit.
Ah, okay, very good. Back in 2016, guys, we go back to 2010 for the ones way back then that got gray hairs now like me.
So I think, well, if you don't have anything on the table, if you don't have any opportunity as your job, you need to be creative. You have to have idea for yourself, and then if you have idea and you have a little bit of experience, and you have your background in the sense of university, college, whatever idea will come to you. You just have to open your mind and think how I can reach out to the CEO, or how I can reach out to the project manager of company. This is my personal opinion. Maybe it is because of the language barrier sometimes, because a lot of people might be shy of that. But at the end of the day, if you have idea for yourself, regardless the fact if you finish only one course or you have 20 years of experience, if you are bringing value, they want to work with you. They want to be around you. They want to get this kind of good energy. And I finding it's really also about being positive, because we know this job is draining. We know we are tired traveling. We know that kids are staying home alone, and then you're receiving the phone call from the daycare that someone is vomiting. Yes, that's true. But at the same time, everything is coming back to you as a good thing. This is something what I'm finding, and I guess I think it's also good to have good people to give you this kind of good kick, good energy. They see your good skills, but at the same time they are saying, okay, like I was talking to my mom this morning, and she told me, yes, you want when I'm talking to you and you hear what you want, you're happy, but when I'm saying the hard truth, and I'm like, okay, this is something, be open for feedback, because this is important.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay, so there you go, guys. I mean, you see what it is, what it takes. You got to put in. It wasn't easy, right? I mean,
No, at
there
all.
was not even close to being easy. Would you say that you were, because you seem like a very persistent person. So, did you ever get down or feel bad? Like, how many applications did you send? How many CVs? Like, just an approximate number. Was it in the hundreds before you started getting some positive traction, or was it like two and you got lucky? What was it?
So I would probably say more than 100 for sure.
You
I
see,
was
guys.
my goal was 10 resume per day.
Okay.
Okay. So because I am a very organized person, I had a tracker, and I was tracking every single resume that I sent to someone, and I was really adding more and more, and finding which kind of company that I can, like, where I can go, where I can find more information about the company. Clinicaltrials.gov. This is the brilliant database. Why? And
Thank you.
it is.
It's free too. People think you have to pay.
Exactly.
Hey, well, I don't have money. You go on your internet or your phone and you type in, clinical trials, and you put in either your indications you're interested in or the locations you want to do it, and you find the sites, even CROs,
Exactly.
sponsors, whatever you want. You guys can do 100 a day if you really wanted to.
Exactly. But it's just a matter of the tools are and information is uh, free. You can use it, and it's just a matter of how you use it. And I'm finding a lot of researchers and a lot of CRAs are having this skill to look, to follow, to verify. When you are a CRA, you know that you have to pay huge attention to informed consent. But then you see, okay, this patient's signed informed consent. I have to follow what's going on with adverse events, and then
Right.
there is a serious adverse. So maybe labs are under normal value. So if you have this experience from your previous country, it's easier for you. But at the same time, you know how to dig into the topic. You know where to look. You know what is important. You have GCP. It's also there, right?
That's right.
So just type in Google how to do this or how to find this, and look for the data, look for the material, look for the videos that are already accessible. If it's working for you, great. If it's not working, contact someone. Maybe this
So
person will have time for you.
So in Poland, because I do want to get into your day-to-day
Yeah.
job now and how it is to be a mom, but just to clarify, so in
Hmm.
Poland, before you moved to Canada, you were CRA already?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
I got you. I got you. Just wanted to make
Hmm.
sure I had that right. Okay, so okay, good because I get these questions a lot, particularly from United Kingdom people. Like United Kingdom,
Okay.
then they want to move either to US or Canada, and especially
Okay.
now the United Kingdom, I
Yes.
don't know if you've seen I mean even before coronavirus with Brexit and all this, the economy wasn't doing great. Now I just read an article, UK might have its worst recession in 300 years. So I mean, that's pretty bad over there, like economics, and it's I probably get more people, and now you're gonna get people reaching out to you saying, "Hey, how do we do this? How do I go to Canada? How do I go to the United States?" I mean, you gotta work,
I don't
The tools are free, the hustle is sold separately.
exactly. I don't want to sound uh, too much, but I do have people that they are reaching out already,
Oh.
and I'm yes, and they are. You have to be patient, and this is coming from the person who is extremely not patient. I am super impatient person. So, but yes, I was patient, and I'm, let's say, cutting my checks now, right? But
Mm-hmm.
um, I do agree that from UK to Canada, I think it's easier to come because it is still under the Queen jurisdiction, right? So,
Right.
for instance, medical doctors, if they are in UK and they are coming to Canada, they have to just pass a few exams to get the license.
Ah,
So,
okay. I
yes,
didn't
and
know
of
that.
course,
Okay.
exam is not easy. Nobody said it's easy. However, it's doable. People are doing it, and I have a lot of. I've talked to a lot of different people who are coming from different part of the world to UK just to do the medical doctor courses or university, and then they are moving from UK to Canada, passing the exam. So it's doable still, but of course you have to put effort. You have to have some kind of plan in your head to do it.
Absolutely. So, now you've been in Canada for 4 years now, right?
Almost, yeah.
CRA. So what, like, are you still monitoring oncology right now?
Correct.
That's
Yes.
tough. That's tough. I'm doing
Oh
two
yeah.
two breast cancer studies. It's really difficult. I haven't
Yeah.
done any other type of cancer, just breast cancer. Um,
Hmm.
what kind of oncology do you do?
Are you sure you want to hear?
I'm a little bit scared.
Well, okay, so I breast cancer, lung cancer, um, more blood cancers. I don't want to sound very specifically because it's easy to find the
Yeah, yeah.
information, right? I did pediatric in oncology for with the kids.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't I think I didn't do only skin cancer yet, but
Okay.
I
Wow.
don't know.
So you've done all this in like 4 years, all not even 4 years time over there.
Well, in Canada, yes, but have in mind that I am in oncology since 2011. This is
Ah, okay.
basically all the time, with a little break for diabetes. So,
Gotcha, gotcha. And I
yeah,
think that helped a lot, having oncology experience. Because look, guys, no matter if you're in India, Europe, US, Canada, oncology is oncology. So if you have the
correct,
training in oncology, I mean, to be a CRA, they're not looking for a doctor, all right? But
correct,
they're looking for someone who understands oncology because that's like learning a separate language. I mean, I'm still
correct,
learning. I've been doing this for 3 years now. Still learning just about breast cancer, like all the time. So, you guys, if that experience, get that experience in your country now. If you're planning a move, probably the easiest thing to do would be get some experience now wherever you are, and then plan ahead, like in a year. Okay, because you
correct.
can't just do it overnight. I mean, you can get lucky maybe, but it's unlikely to happen that way from what I've heard, and I'm sure from what you've experienced, Gabriella.
Well, definitely it is. I'm constantly learning. I'm have in mind that English is not my first language, so I'm also learning how to pronounce specific indications, specific cell numbers, I have this chemistry background, so it's kind of easy for me. However, still, and it's constantly changing. The diseases are changing. They are discovering new rare diseases in oncology as well. So I don't know, and I know a couple of CRAs with a huge background in oncology. Everybody is saying we are always learning new things because you never know. And of course, the patient itself, everybody is different. Everybody reacts differently. So you have to have in mind this mindset that it might be because of the specific of the patient, right? So
Right.
for sure, learning, constantly learning. Yeah.
So now that should help the people with the immigration. Thank you, because now I know what to tell. Now I know who to point them to. Say, hey, watch this interview, and then if you still have questions, ask Gabriella because she's gonna help, and then she's gonna tell you CRA Academy, CRC Academy would be a
Of
wise
course.
choice. You know, it would be a wise choice. But okay, so let's talk about being a mother and being a CRA because that's so difficult. I mean, I can't even imagine how that's even done. And you have, I mean, I heard them yelling in the background. I'm assuming they're young kids. So, like, how do you do this? How do you manage? Give me like a typical week. I can't ask you for a typical day because every day is different for CRA, but give me a typical week or a typical month.
So, to answer your first question, how it is up and running, everything is about organization. And I will tell you the story that when my son started his school, when we went for the interview with the potential teacher, and there was a principal, there was kids from his age. The principal asked them, okay, who has old school calendar at home? So there was few kids raising hands, and one of them was my son, and he goes, yes, of course we have it on the fridge. It's center of operations, madame. So I'm burning red, and she was looking at me, and I'm like, yes, because everything is there, everything is written, who is going where. Because I have to tell you that my husband is traveling as well, so we need to, and of course, without support, without good planning, it is impossible to do it. But typical week. You know what is funny? A friend of mine tell me that if I disappear for 3 weeks, everything will be that organized that everybody will be they know what to do because everything is on the fridge, right? So, but then of course it is. You have to be flexible enough to deliver what you're supposed to deliver for your employee. But at the same time, kids are priority always, right? They are
Of
just
course.
young. So, um, but I feel it's more to explain what you're actually doing, why it is important to do, and when they understand like that this is not that I'm going to the to hotel and spending their night and eating super dinner. I'm working there. I'm going to work. I'm
Right.
I'm going to see the doctor in this specific institution. I have a plan in my head and I really want to do it. But at the same time, of course, I'm scared because maybe they are having, when I am receiving a phone call from the daycare that they are, I don't know, having a fever, I have to think, okay, there is a person who is able to pick them up or who is at home because I don't know, 3,000 kilometers from home, right?
Right. Right.
So it is important to plan everything, and then if you are seeing any obstacles, just remove them. Just make them okay. Yeah, well, this is how
So,
it is, and
so not to get too personal, but do you have like a nanny or like a family member or somebody help, or just like people available, like that you know that have helped you in the past?
so so we have a nanny. We
Okay.
have a nanny. We have a couple of. There is a family here. Uh, so it's easier. We have good relationship with the schools
Mm-hmm.
already. So because I have to mention that I am chair of parents council at my son's school as
You
well.
have time for that too. This is unbelievable what you're doing.
Well, it's because I think I get this from my mom. Um, it's funny enough because my son he likes me to be at his school, so at least this
Really?
is something good. Yeah, he feels okay. He feels like, well, my mom is cool, so why, that's good to have her
Wow, you're
around.
lucky. When I was little, it was the opposite. I do not want my parents anywhere near my school.
No, my mom was always going with me for my trips because
Wow.
everybody at my class, they like it. So I think it's because of my mom, I get this from her.
Hmm.
But
You're a cool mom.
I'm trying to be. I'm doing my best.
That's good. So now, like, you're in
Uh-huh.
Toronto area,
Yeah.
right? So I'm assuming many of your sites are in driving distance, but I'm also assuming you have to fly to Vancouver, different parts of Canada, right? As well.
So now I am covering Ontario province.
Okay.
But previously, yes, I was actually flying across Canada.
Okay, and but you don't go to US to monitor sites, right?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
I think in my life I've had a one CRA all my sites are in California at the time. Now we have like
Uh-huh.
Arizona, but one monitor came from Montreal, and I was like, why are they sending you, from that far like every 6 weeks? This is crazy. And she's like,
Yes.
oh yeah, they send me everywhere. Like I go everywhere. So it's like
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
How are you flying from like 6 hours internationally? It's not easy to go through customs.
At all.
I mean
At all.
that's harder than the flight sometimes.
Well, and what I've experienced here as well in Poland, I was traveling across the country, no problem, because the time zone is the same.
Right.
Here in Canada, in Montreal, Toronto, we have different time zone in, for example, Edmonton or Vancouver. So
Right.
then you have a jet lag. When you are coming back home, you are like 2 hours behind, but actually 3 hours. So this is also something important to take into consideration by people who are planning their career around, because it will get to the point that your body will say, okay, I'm so tired. My blood pressure is so high, I can't fly anymore, right?
Right.
So it is. I have a friend, and she's going to US for monitoring. I don't know what's the rationale for that actually, but it's common. It is common to fly from Canada to US and the other way around.
Mm.
Even from Canada to Europe and from Europe to Canada sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening.
Are
Hmm.
you involved at all with SOKURA or ACRP or anything like that?
Yes,
You are, so you do that also. Network, 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 network.
exactly. Yes,
So you're
that's
you're with
that's
both SOKURA and ACRP?
no, soccer.
SOKURA, okay.
Hmm.
And so what do they do? They have like a monthly meetup or a quarterly meetup or what is it?
Yes. So in Toronto, they are organizing. Um, I wouldn't say it's a monthly meetup, but
Mm.
it's kind of chapters. But my duty is more Poland because I am referring Sokra to Poland. So
Oh wow. Okay.
I feel huge bond with this country still. So I'm trying to share the information with the people there
Of
when it
course.
comes to any,
Good
because
for you. You're gonna be like the Polish ambassador for AC for SOKURA.
well, yeah,
That's
maybe one day.
awesome. You're becoming a generalist is what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Now let's talk a little bit about Canadian job market. I'm sure it's
Yes,
a little bit similar to United States. Recently, coronavirus kind of changed everything. People getting
yes,
furloughed, laid off. I think this is temporary stuff. Like long term, the U.S. is very stable with research. Canada, is it the same?
yes. I'm finding it's the same. Um, the job market is pretty much similar, I would say, to US.
Okay.
The only difference would be French language.
Yeah.
If you are bilingual, if you are the finding a job as a CRA project manager, it's really easy
Yeah. I guess
because
it's
then
kind of like knowing Spanish here, you know?
I guess so. Very likely, it might be
Yeah.
the same
Hmm.
because then it's a lot of opportunities in Montreal, and Of course, a lot of opportunities Toronto, but across Canada, it is a. I I feel like if there is a will, there is a way. You know,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
really want, you will find opportunity for yourself. Sometimes you have to wait for the best one, but I wouldn't say that coronavirus changed a lot. Of course, it will be switching to the mindset for more remote
Of course.
monitoring.
Of course.
But still, if you have experience already on site, it's doable, I guess.
And I think site monitoring is coming back too, because the industry, no matter what country you're in, is not ready for remote monitoring. I mean, sites are
Yeah,
not scanning their You have to beg them to scan their documents. You know,
exactly.
people from outside don't understand this. They talk about these virtual trial. You know, the hardest part of this is scanning documents for monitors, which is like the lowest tech thing you can think of. But it's the
Exactly.
biggest issue that that we've seen.
Well, and also it's providing and explaining to sites what the remote monitoring actually is, because they also don't understand what is it. They don't understand, if they never did that before, it's hard to understand that I won't be asking them to scan the documents itself, right?
Mm,
But I will be asking them for uploading them to the specific system, because I will be looking for it when I'm doing my activities.
right.
So it is also important to provide good training for sites how they are acting when there is a remote monitoring occurring, right? So it is. I feel like the COVID will really have huge impact on how the clinical trials are up and running, but because this industry has already well-established rule, guidelines, requirements, it will be harder for some institutions, site owners, principal investigators to switch a little bit, because then if you don't have a remote access to electronic medical records, and the company is approaching you for the trial and they are asking specifically for that, you might just lose it,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So I'm really curious how this will switch, how new CRAs in the industry will find themselves in these positions, because we are learned to go to sites. We have a plan in the head. I'm going to the pharmacy, then I'm reviewing the data, and then I'm seeing the PI. What happens if everything is switched, and then you have to have this mindset of, okay, I have to be flexible because maybe pharmacy is closed, PI is super busy, data is not provided on time. So we know how to do this, but now it's time to learn how to do this remotely, you know?
Right, even harder. I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
being a monitor is always about problem solving because you can
Exactly.
have the same study, 12 different sites, and you're going to be solving different problems at each site. I mean, there's probably some overlap, but there's the challenges are different at each site. And part of the reason why it's so tough to get an entry level monitoring job is because the employer knows, hey, this is not easy. Like, it takes time for us to train these people to do it. You got to go in and know what to look for already. We can't hold your hand the whole time. This is why, honestly, Gabriella, it's why we started the CRA Academy for back in 2015. We started this thing. Um, what do you think about? I guess as we wrap up now, and thank you so much for your
Mm-hmm.
time. I know it's going a little bit longer, but um, private industry in Canada, okay? Because here in the United States, you have a lot of mom and pop, investigators. Decreasingly so. We are seeing like
Mm-hmm.
AMC's, academic medical centers, used to be the
Mm-hmm.
dominant players. They still kind
Mm-hmm.
of are, but it's really like private industry is dominating.
Mm-hmm.
What about in Canada? Is it the same or is it vice versa? Because I get a lot of potential site owners that want to open clinics in Canada, and I also don't have answers for them.
Well, I would say it's 70. well, 60-40. And when I'm saying this, I have industry-funded clinical trials, but when I'm also thinking about investigator-initiated studies,
Okay, okay.
there is a lot of institutions, university that they are running clinical trial themselves here in Canada, which for me was really surprising because comparing to Poland, it's only 2%. Maybe now it's changing because the law changed a little bit. They provided some new institution running this.
Right.
So you might get the trial from pharmaceutical, medical devices, biotech, so industry sponsored trial, but you also might be able to have investigator who would like to run his own trial. And this is the topic which is not explored that much, maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
Like a
but it's
private
possible.
private PI, private site, his own. Is there like a private practice in Canada, like medical private practice, or is it all through like hospital systems?
Uh, it is. But
Okay.
it's more. People are more using public still,
Yeah.
and I'm not an expert on that part, so I would
Yeah.
probably would refer to someone. But it is here, and if there is a PI who has idea, he wants to explore this drug or drug interaction. Uh, there
Yeah.
are a lot of fundings out there to do it.
Mhm.
It is just a matter of idea, and I think this is how it is here.
So for the sites that you monitor, like
Yes.
just approximately what percentage are universities and then teaching hospitals, and what percentage you think would be like private centers?
Oh, so most of mine are public ones. They
Okay.
are not private ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured too. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
interesting to see because I do know, Selena Chavanes. She was actually in Trudeau's, uh, I don't know what they call it there, but she was like in his camp. Uh,
Okay.
okay, well, I interviewed her like in 2010 when she had Canada's
Okay.
largest SMO, site management organization. And
Wow.
yeah, that's like an old video, but I'm still in communication with her. So I'm always curious about private industry in Canada when it comes to clinical research. But I mean, Gabriella, you've helped answer so many questions. We've discussed immigration, we've discussed getting in, like we've discussed being a generalist, even. We've discussed how to balance being a mother, and being a CRA, which an oncology CRA, plus all the other stuff you're doing. It's amazing. It's amazing what you're doing. Anything that we haven't covered that you want to say?
Well, maybe maybe for another episode we will leave it.
I like that. Are we leaving a teaser? We're leaving them on a cliffhanger like they do on the
Exactly.
news before they go to commercial. They say, hey,
Exactly.
we've got something shocking for you want to hear. I like the Toronto Raptor behind you. One of
Oh
your
yeah, this
kids
is
drew this Toronto Raptor. You guys are fans?
well, my son is, so it's
Okay.
like I am already, right?
Good, good, good. Good to them, but we got their player. We got Kawhi Leonard. Uh,
I know.
Gabriella, I appreciate it so much. Link to Gabriella will be underneath the video as well as in the podcast episode. You gotta connect with her. I mean, look, she's got so much information, so much knowledge. I'm sure you'll get a lot of people reaching out now, Gabriella. And thank you very much for doing this. And we will do a part two.
Great. Thank you very much. And once again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Happy, big, big happy Mother's Day to all the moms, especially the research moms, because this industry is tough. So thank you guys.
Exactly.
Happy Mother's Day. And thank you,
Thank you.
Gabriella. Happy Mother's Day to you too. And we'll
Thank
talk
you.
later.
Bye. Thanks.